Let's move on and talk about our predicted lineup. And it's always so difficult to predict teams for these kind of games when you know you're going to make changes. You just don't know how many. Is it going to be 7 or 8 changes out of the Qarabag Cup, or is it going to be what Aaron says? You know, he doesn't want to make too many changes. So don't have too much to go on because this is the first Europa League game. But in terms of the injury news and the team news going into it, what have we got?
So Odebear and Richarlison still not seen in training, so they're remaining out for this one. Romero is suspended, and Jed Spence and Sergio Reguilon, we should add, is ineligible for this one because they've been left out the Europa League squad, so they can't play. But everyone else seems to have a clean bit of health. He said no new problems from the weekend.
Isn't it just mad though that Sergio Reguilon is still here? Like,
Yeah,
you see him in all the training content, and then like it comes to match day, he was on the bench against Coventry, wasn't he? But like what's he doing here?
Just making up the numbers in training, I guess.
Like, why didn't we just like cut our losses in the summer and just be like, look, you couldn't find a move, we'll let you go on a free agent or something? Like, what value is there having him around here?
Wish I could tell you.
There's nothing, is there? Absolutely nothing.
I guess just in, let's say Udogie and Davis both pick up injuries or something, and maybe he plays in the Premier League, I guess. But in that desperate situation, but yeah, I mean, at the moment he's not doing anything.
Yeah. Just before we get into the Spurs predicted lineup, just bring up this Qarabag one for a second. I mean, I don't know any of these players apart from Benzia and Janino. So we've predicted Benzia in the 10 and Janino up top. So, and how much of a miss do you reckon these players will be for them?
Ramzanov, yeah, definitely a massive miss. So we're lucky he's out.
Yeah.
But I don't rate the other guy, so he's not going to be a big miss.
Fair enough.
Could be the other way around, though.
4-3-3 formation as per usual. In goal will be Big Vic. We think like Fraser Forster just had such a shocking game, and we probably think Vic has the nod in the Europa League anyway.
Yeah, I reckon the agreement is Forster plays the cup games and Vic plays in Europe and Premier League. So I think Vic comes back in this one. Yeah, and hopefully no basketball outside the penalty area this time.
Let's hope so, yeah. Right back, we are going to give Pedro Porro a rest and have Archie Gray come back in at right back. I thought that, you know, in the Coventry game, I thought on the ball, he was actually one of our better players, and he was trying to help us with those little, like, nice little cute passes that he does and progress us up the pitch. It's just that it was too many individuals, wasn't it, against Coventry, and he wasn't really able to make the impact he wanted.
Yeah, I think on the ball he looked decent, but off the ball he did struggle a bit. Obviously, he's playing in that inverted fullback role. He's still got to get used to it. He's still 18, very young, and he's got to get used to that situation. But I do think we're going to give him more game time here. So I think he comes in at right back.
Right centre-back will be Radu Dragusin. Obviously got the nod against Coventry. Didn't cover himself in too much glory, so let's hope that he can perform to the levels that we know he can perform to in this one. Yeah,
we know obviously Romero's out, so he definitely comes in anyway, regardless. So hopefully he has a better performance than last time. But he had a good performance against Newcastle, so I back him to get back to form.
And we're actually putting in Mickey van der Ven at left centre-back. I felt like the defence really needed one of Romero van der Ven in the game against Coventry, because I just thought playing Dragoshin and Ben Davies in a high line just doesn't work. They don't have the attributes particularly to play together in that kind of system. So I think one of Romero and Van der Ven has to be in the back line, and with Romero being suspended, it's got to be Van der Ven.
Yeah, and you basically have to play one of Van der Ven or Udogie, seeing as Spencer's ineligible. So he played Udogie against Coventry. We're going to side with Van der Ven here.
And then at left back, to make up that back four, we are going to go for Ben Davies, who he got a lot of flack for his game against Coventry, but I did think he did a lot of good things as well within the game, and he saved us on a number of occasions. And if he didn't save that block, that goal line clearance, you know, we definitely could have gone out that night. So his performances at left back over the last year or year and a half haven't been anywhere near up to scratch, but you would assume against a Qarabag team he could do the job there.
Yeah, it should be all right, him at left back. I actually think it's the opposite. I think he got a lot of praise for his performance against Coventry. I actually think he wasn't that good.
All I saw was stick.
Really? I saw the opposite. But yeah, I think he can still fill in this kind of game at left back. Obviously, he filled in a couple times last season there. I do think he's more of a centre back at this stage of his career, but I think we don't have... Look, if he's not going to play, that means the doggy's going to play every minute of every game. So I don't think that's sustainable. So I think Davis will play left back here.
And then moving on to the number 6, we're going to side with Rodrigo Bentancur with the ban looming over his head at the minute. Europa League is in the near future the only games he can play. So, that's why we're siding with him.
Yeah, played an hour on the weekend as well. So Basuma still got half an hour. He might even... I reckon Basuma still gets a bit of time in this one. But probably Basuma's going to play on Sunday. So we think Bentancur will start here. But we don't know yet if the... ban will be enforced for Sunday or not. We don't know the latest actually with it, because Ali Gold said that he was saying there was some precedent that one of the bans for a different player got banned for something similar, like they was charged and it was like months before.
Oh really?
The ban was enforced. So, but he said that was during COVID, so there might have been some delays on it. But maybe with this, we'll see what happens with this one how quickly they enforce it.
Moving into the midfield as well, we got Decky. I'm going to put Decky on the right hand side of the midfield. I was trying to think whether it be Decky or Maddison, because I think Bergvall, spoilers by the way, Bergvall will start alongside Kulusevski in this one. I do feel like it will be one of Maddison or Kulusevski to start, but I feel like he might want to give Maddison just that bit more of a rest, because you see like Maddison, he does tire in games quite easily, and he did play close to 90 minutes against Brentford, so I think he'll just about side with Kulusevski.
Yeah, and I think as well, maybe if he is going to start Bergvall, it might be better off just partnering him with someone who's been close to since he started. It might help him out a bit more in Decky than Maddison. So I think obviously Decky also adds that bit of solidity in the middle. So we're going to go with him. We're thinking he might want to go with 2 attacking 8s again, and Sarr hasn't really been on it. So we're going to start Decky here on the right number 8.
Yeah, which leaves, obviously, like I said before, Lucas Bergvall alongside them in midfield to make a trio of Bentancur, Kulusevski and Bergvall. And I like the idea of that trio. I think it could work really well. And I feel for Pape Matar Sarr, because we have kind of moved away from his role in the team. He did obviously start against Coventry and didn't do that well, to be honest. But I can't think of a game like where maybe against like a Man City or someone where we want more solidity in midfield, but with where's Sarr going to play?
He needs to up his game.
But up his game in what sense though? Because that's not like, yeah, he needs to go get better on the ball, but he's never going to be a Maddison or a Kulusevski, is he?
No, he's never going to be that good, but he needs to stop being a liability. At the moment, he's not doing anywhere near enough. I think the beginning of last season he was getting some goal contributions, he was getting some through balls and stuff, but those have really dried up, and he seems really awkward at the moment on the ball when he's in those spaces. And if he's going to keep doing that, then he's not going to be good enough to play in that position. And obviously, when you're competing like players like Maddison and Kulu, who are very good in those situations, obviously it's going to be even more difficult. And Bergvall, by the way, who's shown to be quite adept in those situations. So reality is maybe he's going to have to start being a number 6 or something, because he's just not at the moment. He's not playing well enough going forward to play in that position. So he's going to have to improve. That's the reality. Maybe
Sarr does start in this game, and they put Kulusevski on the right wing.
Kulusevski on the right. I think they could do that, but if I were them, I think you just play Johnson and keep his confidence going, because he's got 2 goals in 2 games, and he seems to be high in confidence at the moment. He gets another goal in this game, keeps him ticking over for United, I feel.
All right, well, Brendan Johnson, like we say, will be on the right wing. Obviously, a very good week for him, following a very bad few moments for him in terms of what happened at Coventry after the Arsenal game, but responded with a last-minute winner against Coventry and responded really well with a good performance and a goal against Brentford. Yeah, and I think it'll be important for him if he can get another goal contribution, maybe some assist or a goal in this one, keeps his confidence going, keeps that air of confidence going to the United game, where he's maybe going to be more willing to take people on and take shots and things like that, whereas before he seemed to be playing within himself. So I do think Johnson will keep him in the team for this one. Up top, we are going to go for big Dom Solanke. Let's hope he can carry on, getting the balls in the back of the net, because there will be chances for him, obviously, in this game. He probably should have had more than a goal, to be fair. I like everything that Dom Solanke brings. He just needs to get more clinical in front of goal. Yeah, I think
Obviously, for Solanke, match fitness is going to be crucial in this one as well. He's still come back from injury. He looked very tired on the weekend, but there's been a bit of a break. So hopefully, give him like 45 minutes to an hour in this one. Hopefully, he gets a goal or two, keeps his confidence up, and then you take him off. I don't think he'll play 90 minutes, but I do think he'll start.
And then on the left, we are going to go for Son Heung-min. And there's actually been some interesting news coming out about Sonny from Dan Kilpatrick saying that Spurs are going to trigger that extension for the contract. I mean, we have heard it before. Actually, that post has just been deleted. So I don't know if we are going to trigger it, but that's the news coming out at the moment.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think, personally, you play Werner, but Son did the presser, so we are going to go for Son on the left. I just, for one, think at 32 we should be resting him for this kind of game and keep him fresh for Man United. I think we saw how fresh the team looked, who for a lot of the players who got rested on for the Coventry game, they looked a lot fresher against Brentford. So I would like to do that with Son, but we feel maybe with Son doing the press conference, that's an indication he's going to start on the left wing, so we put him there.
All right. Well, there you have it. That is our predicted lineup going into the opener, the Europa League opener against Qarabag. Let's run through it with you guys one more time. It's Vicario in goal, a back four of Gray, Dragoshin, Van der Ven and Davis. Bentancur, Kulusevski and Bergvall in the midfield with Brennan, Johnson, Son Heung-min and Solanke up top. So score predictions, I am going for 4-1 to Spurs. Sim is going to go for 3-0 to Spurs. And there's actually, in this game, I was looking at the tickets. There is just tickets galore for tomorrow. It's going to be, it feels like it seems like it's going to be a completely empty stadium tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, Qarabag at home on a Thursday night. I mean, do you expect it to be a full house?
It's our big return in Europe.
Big return to Europe after a year out. Yeah, I don't look. Even back in like White Hart Lane, like I don't think these kind of games would properly sell out.
Yeah.
I mean, group stage as well. I think it was a knockout game, might be different, but group stage, first one as well, it doesn't really mean much, even if we win. So it doesn't really surprise me that it's not an absolute sellout, to be honest. I mean, we're not going. We could go if we wanted.
We're needed on the watch along.
Yeah, exactly.